Good evening. Welcome to the March 11, 2014 Board of Selectmen meeting. We're now at order, and we'll begin the meeting with minutes of the previous meetings.
Make a motion to accept.
February 4th.
Second.
All in favor? February 11th.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Accepted. New business, consideration of abatements as submitted by contract assessor Kurt LaBelle. They're in the e-packet here. There are two of them. Jacqueline Fiera, Friendship Realty Trust, and Ann Manning. Do we want to do these both at once, or do we
Individually, please.
Individually.
I'll make a motion to approve the abatement for map 8, lot 25-B.
Second.
All in favor?
And I'll offer an explanation, even though we've already voted on it. That was an exemption because of the homestead exemption was done in error, omitted in error, and it results in $112.50 tax abatement per year. Second one is map 8, lot 117B. This one had a mountain view credit applied, and the lot does not have a mountain view, so the abatement would be $303.75 per year.
Second.
All in favor? Yes. Next, consideration of road name additions. Chris?
Good evening, Chris Hansen, Code Enforcement Officer. The Planning Board recently approved two new private ways at their January 15th meeting. Rawshire Road off from Valley Road and Viv's Way off from Spiller Hill Road. I would recommend approving both of these road names tonight.
I would make a motion to approve the names as presented to us from the Planning Board.
Second.
All in favor? Approved. Thank you, Chris. Consideration of tax acquired property, or I beg your pardon, tax acquired property update is submitted by Deputy Tax Collector Sue Carr. Daniel Loring will do that.
In your e-packet, you will see an updated list of tax acquired properties that includes recently matured liens as of this past February. Inside the actual list, you'll find stars next to them, and those ones are the ones that were recently added for the 2011-12 year. And then in my memo, there's also a list of individuals where we've sent out letters either adjusting the amount of the current payment arrangement or requesting payment arrangements. And
Hold on. Danielle, hold on a minute. Which car is it, Lonnie?
I'm not sure. I went to see exactly whose car or what the make and model is, but whoever parked next to
I
me.
may be sitting on my keys, sorry.
so it's saying the list of names, the ones with stars on there are people that Sue did hear back from, either to increase their payment arrangements or to create payment arrangements that may not have been in existence. There was one property that was on the prior list that we were given direction to move toward the next step, and that was the Noonan property. And we've reached out and we're getting ready to do an eviction notice and to clear out that property to move to the next step, which is sale. But we found out that the banks actually were willing to pay it, so we put off sending out an eviction notice, but then have yet to receive payment. So we figured we would just wait and see what direction the board wanted to go in. We still have the two properties that had already been recommended by the RCC for sale, and that's 0 Boulder Road and 0 Bond Street. So staff is just looking for a recommendation moving forward with these tax acquired properties.
Mike?
Danielle, I was a little distracted there, so I'm going to ask for some clarification. On the the note that you included in the board packet dated March 6th, there's an asterisk by a list of names on the left. The list starts with Beatty.
Yep,
So those are the ones that we recently,
no, sorry, I realized that I made the
They're-
notation
they're-
similar.
yeah,
The ones in the list that I gave you are ones that Deputy Tax Collector Carr went out and tried to either increase their payment arrangements or establish payment arrangements, and the ones with asterisks are the ones she heard from. In the list starting on the next page,
the
there are
double
ones with-
list,
Yes,
okay,
the ones with asterisks on that are new ones.
those are the new ones.
The new ones that just came onto it.
They just became mature, yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So, Danielle, I'm gonna just call out, just as a question. I think it's the third one down on page 1, map 16, lot 61. There in the rear is $19,400.
That's correct,
We are receiving $300 a month.
that's correct.
At the meeting we had, last time we reviewed these, we looked at some of these properties and realized that at the payment schedules, they weren't gonna make it. I mean, they were just gonna keep falling further behind. This appears to be one of those, and it does not have a star, I don't believe.
Right,
Although if I look up on the other list, it does show they've
that she
been.
tried.
She tried. Okay. Oh, yeah, I know, there's more than one, Teresa.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna ask that we, table this to our next meeting and get a better explanation, on exactly which properties are, how do I say this? For instance, the one I'm talking about here, map 16, lot 61, they basically owe 20 grand, dating back to '09.
Right.
At $300 a month, even if they're making those payments, they're gonna be in the rears
Forever.
more.
Yeah.
So, I think we really need a detailed report on,
Who's doing what and when they're gonna be, and whether we're being paid.
Yeah, I think she
We
said
should.
that she was going to, now that I'm looking at this, I believe she said that she was going to, they were supposed to double his payments every, I think, 60 days. They were going to start
Well, we need that
doubling.
explanation.
yeah, so if we could get an explanation to everything that's not new, Danielle. The new ones I understand. And anybody who is not in process, who has not responded, I would ask that we move to the next stage of that, but
I
I
agree.
can't recommend that at this point until we understand the proper list, so.
All right, let's have a motion to table it.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, discussion, public questions,
Before we get a motion,
public questions?
let me get a motion first.
No, it's.
You can't, you gotta do it before the motion.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
Maybe if there was somebody who's parliamentarian, who can straighten that out. Charles Evans, 1411 Road, East Raymond, and this has to be done prior to the motion being made. There was one concern I had, and I shared that with Mr. Reynolds. I didn't share it with him, but I share it with him, that the list was very confusing with the double asterisks and not really designating the areas that were in one list or the other. It was pretty confusing. One that was specifically a problem was, I believe, Ms. Loring mentioned the Noonan property. That's $24,000 now in arrears. I believe the bank had said they were going to pay the lien in December. So this is almost now the middle of March. So even though you may want to consider tabling all these actions, now it's not just the homeowner, but we've been, well, if you want to believe in the trustworthiness of banks, you're more than welcome to make that decision. I think a bank has told us that they were going to pay the liens in December and hold off on the eviction proceedings, and for $24,000, and it was just $18,000 not too long ago, I think you should be a little more selective on some of those that should move forward to what you've already said should be the next step.
Well, wouldn't that go into what we're proposing to get a more detailed
Exactly what it is.
explanation of where things are at?
So I would ask that we table this issue except for the 2 quitclaim deeds that were presented to us as official business.
Need a second on that?
Yes.
Second.
All in favor?
So Danielle, would you ask Sue, and maybe she ought to come in case we have questions and don't understand? That would be great, thank you.
Can I ask clarification on something though?
Absolutely.
I know there was a certain amount that, like 1,000 that they owed that they weren't gonna be put in here. What was that amount? I don't remember at the last meeting, where they were just gonna pay it out. Anybody that owed, say like under 1,000 or owed under so much.
Yeah, any of those that were looking to be paid off within the next, I think it was like 6 months, we were going to just let them lie, but anyone above that, we're gonna enter into the land contract. So, we've been moving forward that process, but it's very, time consuming, so it takes a while to get it done.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Next issue on the agenda, consideration of quitclaim deeds. We've already signed that, so.
I would make a motion to accept the quitclaim deed on Coppersmith William and Coppersmith Mary Ann, Book 25536, page 22, and Book 27798, page 33, Book 26335, page 347, Book 2886, page 268, Book 27261, page 113, and Book 29837, page 347.
Second.
All in favor?
Do you want to, we got one there. I'd like to make a motion for Locklear Lloyd and Locklear Karen, Book 26335, page 327, Book 28886, page 330, Book 27261, page 198, Book 2938, page 162, Book 27988, page 341, and Book 30940, page 105.
Second.
All in favor? Done. Next, consideration of Camp Hines certificate of notice. Danielle?
Per the land use ordinance for major site plan review, the board can elect to do a certificate of notice which shows which abutters were notified for that particular project. So I'm asking the board to consider it for approval.
Questions? Yes?
Danielle, can you help me understand why we're doing this better? But why the board's doing this?
It documents the process so that
Right.
there's evidence that, you're affirming that this has been done.
Okay, thank you.
Questions?
Need a motion, Sam?
Yes.
My motion to guess I'm not sure what I'm motioning.
Accept the certificate.
Simple as that?
Yep. You're just certifying her.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Levitt. I would make a motion that we accept the certification of notice for Camp Hines.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, next update on planning grant application, Danielle.
I just wanted to update the board that, Last week, John and I went to the presentation for the Selectmen Committee to have them consider our planning grant, which is a zero match grant, to look and do a feasibility study for the manufacturing incubator that is proposed at the former EnvedTech Chipco building. We had to give a 3-minute presentation and then had 5 minutes to answer specific questions of that group. I have gotten a preliminary response that the selection committee has recommended our project, which was for $30,000 with 95% of its funding moving forward. If we do get approved, we would then move through the RFP process to find a contractor to carry out the feasibility study. I will be attending this week and on the 27th, the Municipal Organization Committee, which will follow through the deliberations on this matter, and I'll get to see that process as they basically consider our application and recommend to the county for funding.
And this is a no-match grant.
That's correct.
I would like to add that Danielle did an exceptional job in her presentation. She had, as she indicated, just 3 minutes to outline the proposal, and so I want to just congratulate you on that and the work that you've done on this and the enthusiasm that you've shown for this project, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we'll go into executive session. Somebody want to make a motion to do so?
Make a motion to go into executive session, Title 1, MRSA, subsection 405.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Okay, we're in executive session.
He can't hear.
Favor? We're out. Next on the agenda is public comment.
Oh, we're not done yet, Sam.
No, we're not. Oh, yes, I beg your pardon. Yes, I need another motion.
I'd like to make a motion to extend the town manager's contract for a year.
Second?
All in favor?
Excuse me? I had my hand raised, Mr. Chairman. Comment? Okay, sorry, I had my hand raised. Charles Levitt, 14 Levitt Road, East Raymond. Wait. Okay, I'm in. I'm not going to go through all the details of, because I've been through this for now 10 years on and off about the extension of these contracts. So I'm just going to assume this contract now is being extended until 2016. That be correct? June of 2016. On January 16th, I asked for, based on a presentation the town manager had made to the Budget Finance Committee, said that his contract was online. So everybody took that at face value, that he was telling the truth at that time. But then when I further went online to try to find that contract, which going on his word that it was going to be online, I was told by his administrative assistant that he was wrong, and that contract is not going to be online. And that if I wanted it, a copy of that contract, which I would assume that would be anyone, possibly even someone on the Budget Finance Committee, that it would cost $15 in order to get a copy of the contract after it had been redacted for any reasons. So rather than that, and taking a line, so I guess it's not online, and you're voting and the public doesn't have an opportunity.
Yes,
Yes?
Mr. Levitt,
Okay, can I stop at 1:33? Yes.
Okay, I'm told that it wouldn't cost $15.
Well, I've got
Where
the
did that come
emails.
from?
I went through the emails today. First, there was a 0, and then it took us an hour, and it would be $15. So I can share that with you later. I have those emails. But anyway, don't cut into my time, and then you can ask all these questions later, I guess. If it was $15, and taking the lead from the Raymond Revitalization Committee and wanting to really be an enterpriser in this community as a small business, I'll sell it to anyone for $12. I've got a ton of information here on the manager's contract, and since we are going to extend this The one thing I would have liked to have seen in the contract, if the community had had more input than 3 minutes, and had the contract to look at, is that I hope there's a moratorium in this contract for any town manager ever trying to compare the town of Raymond to the town of Gray, the town of Oxford, the town of Norway, in 1995 Rockport, Maine. Because I think after 10 or 12 years, we're beyond that, and if we're going to be doing comparables and trying to say where is the direction of this town going to go to, we should have a coordinated effort both from the elected leadership, from the appointed leadership, and most importantly from the people. And I see I have 10 seconds left without what was taken out of my time, but I'm done. Thank you, and you're welcome.
Okay, back to the extension of the contract. We have a motion.
It's been moved and seconded.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
I just want to say thank you to the Board of Selectmen. I'm looking forward to working with you in the year ahead. We've got an exciting agenda ramped up. There are many opportunities for the town, and as always, I would encourage citizens, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, please contact me. If anyone wants a copy of my contract, I'd be pleased to provide that, and any other publicly available information. It's always available. Thank you.
I think there's going to be a point of order here pretty soon. Okay, thank you, Don. Public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Barb Lovell, 77 Wild Acres Road. Mr. Chair, members of the board, I feel very much that there's a major concern that I have, and I want the Board of Selectmen to consider as a future agenda item, and that is, by saying I mean I and we, the Friends of Raymond Cape, strenuously oppose the parking lot warrant that the Planning Board approved and will be putting forward to you for your consideration. We oppose this warrant as written because it is totally inappropriate to have parking lot standards that suit a commercial zone and that they be rubber stamped and then placed in a residential zone. They're identical. There's quite a difference, as you may well understand and know. This would be a serious mistake and detriment to the Cape. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Tom Ewing, also of the Raymond Cape, and I guess I'm kind of reiterating a little bit of what Barb Lovell said with regard to shoreland zoning. I mean, it hasn't escaped your notice that we, as the Raymond Cape residents, are vehemently against this Fry Island application for a parking lot. And I think our fear is that with the approval of the shoreland zoning, that this one-size-fits-all type of zoning ordinance, that it will open the door to Fry Island to be able to come in and argue that the planning board and the planning board has no standing because the one-size-fits-all has already determined what can be approved and what cannot be approved. So I go along with Barbara Lovell and with the Friends of Raymond Cape and say that we are very, very much concerned that this shoreland zoning is going to be a one-size-fits-all, and we, as the Raymond Cape and as a residential area, will have not enough input and not enough weight or muscle to try and have influence on whatever application the Fry Island people could put up. So, thank you. That's my concern.
Thank you. Noted. More public comment.
Charles Levitt, 14 Levitt Road, East Raymond. Just a couple of things. I absolutely second what was said by the two previous speakers. It's kind of a travesty that we're trying to turn Raymond Cape into Coney Island and paving over it, and best term I can use is park inside. So hopefully clearer heads will reign tomorrow night at the planning board in the step forwards of denying that and moving ahead more positively with looking at the uses in the shoreland zone, which we should have done in advance of setting up definitions. Also, one concern I have that I believe the board should be looking at is over the past few months in particular, as we go through this new budget process, we keep on hearing that the town of Raymond has given nothing to economic development. So I brought it with me tonight, won't have time, but I do want to recommend and have you look at it, maybe have a workshop on the TIF. Now, if you look at how much money's been put aside in the town of Raymond, specifically the TIF was set aside for economic development in the town of Raymond, it roughly has been $200,000 a year, I think, since 1999 or something. So literally you could say the town of Raymond has invested, well, maybe not 1999, but it literally has invested millions of dollars into economic development in the town of Raymond. So if you're shaking your head and saying, no, that means you haven't read the TIF and what the TIF is for, or you're an administrator who believes the TIF is an EBT card that you just use in the town of Raymond, so we take the gas and the pipeline revenue that has been shifted to be used for economic development, which we've used for the Raymond Historical Society, for beautification, we've used it for GIS. Either those are economic development drivers as defined by the TIF, or they're not. And if they're not, then I think we have a bigger problem with how we're using the TIF. So going forward, I think we need to really rethink how much effort the town of Raymond has actually put into economic development and actually give it its due and say the people of the town of Raymond, with the water line, with the failed CHIPCO effort, with the development of District 1 Fire Station, we've invested a lot into community development, economic development in the town of Raymond. Also, the Pismire Mountain vote from last meeting was an embarrassment. We ought to be going to the Hancock Foundation and asking them to give more of that as a donation to the town of Raymond, but no one can deny that that 300-acre parcel and what we had indicated to those parties before in good faith, that we should have been supporting them in their efforts and we should have been co-sponsoring a Land for Maine Futures vote. It would have cost us nothing. They're going to do a lot of fundraising for us, and I think we ended up showing ourselves to be smaller than we really are as a community when we decide not to support them. You're welcome.
Thank you. Further? Any other citizen comment? Okay, we'll move along then. That session is closed. Move along to town manager report and communication. Don?
Under communications, we have a major snowstorm coming. I want to encourage everyone who's interested in meeting attendance to check the website and the local news channels for meeting cancellations. We'll get those up as soon as we have a determination from the board chairs on that. We have two meetings. Last evening, you decided that you would have a budget workshop on April 7th at 6 p.m. here, Selectmen Budget Workshop. And then the next regular Selectmen's meeting will be the following evening, Tuesday, April 8th at 7 p.m. Assuming everyone's good with that. And that's all I have.
Okay, fiscal warrants or selectmen comment. Let's do that. If anyone has any of that. Yes.
I actually have two things. One is our last meeting, we had Katrina Sangster come and talk to us about the school, and one of the things that was kind of left up in the air was the amount that Raymond pays for as far as percentage rate goes. So I had a good conversation with Nancy Yates today because I was curious to see what those numbers were. And I have the paper at home, but we pay like 32% up on the EPS. So the EPS number is one number, but over EPS, which I believe is 24 million, we pay 44.5% of that budget. and Wyndham pays 55.5%. So that's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you take and put a school in there, that's of course above the EPS. But we would be paying about 45% of the budget on that $34 million school. So I thought that was important for people to know. The other one is, I'm going to ask Bruce Tupper for some help on this one. He doesn't know this yet. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago, I had an incident happen at my house where I needed rescue to come, and it was to the point that it was pretty urgent that they needed to do an EpiPen right away. Knowing that I live on 302, and I do a lot for knowing a lot of people in this town, I thought, oh, they're going to be here, they're going to know where I'm at. Well, unfortunately, didn't ever dawn in my head that my mailbox was covered, and they did not know my number because dispatch just gives out female 207 Mills Road, and Beth Clark was on duty. She went down past the house because she didn't know. Kathy Goslin actually had to call in and find out the surname of the house so she knew where I was. So this is where I want to work with Bruce and say how important it is to get numbers on houses, not just the mailboxes, on houses. And I think it's still going on where you guys actually have numbers at the fire station. Yeah, if you could, please.
It is vitally important to have your houses numbered and numbered appropriately. This has been an ongoing battle, and we've got some ordinances changed in the past, and we're working on, as we find these issues, getting them enforced. Our association did a fundraiser a year ago to provide numbers to people, and we still have that as an ongoing offer for folks. We'll even come out and put those numbers on their mailboxes for them, houses or whatever is applicable at that point in time. It is vitally important to keep the numbers clear so that we can find you. If it's the wrong number that's posted, it also throws us off in trying to find the right address. On numerous occasions in my career, I have found the wrong number has delayed us by 10 minutes getting to the right number. Because you start out on the wrong end of the road looking for 500, and number 500 is that far out of order because it's an old number. It can throw us off. So absolutely, get the numbers out there, and we can help people out, and we do have that offer still out there for free house numbers, and we will provide them.
Thanks, Bruce.
So I took it for advantage that my mailbox is out there that people knew. So I think it's really important for people to get it out there.
Did you dig out your mailbox?
No, it's bent. The snow kind of just bent it. I still have it. I got to go down and get.
Any other selectmen comment?
I just have one quick one to add to that is that it's real good to take you up on your offer number-wise is because they know what they're looking for, number type. You know, you can go out and you can buy all different kinds of numbers and all of that, and you may miss it. You know, so to be able to have at least the same or something like what Chief is offering number-wise.
That's right.
They're trained for that, so that is it's a good point to kind of move towards.
Thank you. Okay, if there are no more selectmen comment, fiscal warrants.
I'd like to make a motion to accept payroll expense summary dated 3/11/2014 for the amount of $42,353.71.
Second.
All in favor?
Make a motion to accept treasurer's warrant dated 3/11/2014 for the amount of $100,404.02.
Second.
All in favor? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?